afternoon or whatever time it is for you. That's Phineas again. I have some time before my daughter gets home from school, and I thought I would just sit down and talk about how to start art journaling. When you have time to be creative, but you don't necessarily have a plan or have something that's top of mind that you want to journal through, what do? How do you start? Because for a lot of people, a blank page is super intimidating. They don't want to mess their paper or make a mistake. And those are all real and valid issues that we come across. So to help get started, sometimes you can grab a deck of oracle cards. I've gotten these ones here from Above Average Wellness. Trista has always a beautiful selection of oracle cards. And they're all different, so depending on what kind of mood you're in, these ones are just beautiful. They're beautiful. They're so nice. The colors are beautiful. The words and the descriptions are usually spot on. But you could shuffle these cards and choose one. So, sorry, I think there's a delivery here. Let's choose intention. I chose it on purpose, but you can take a look at either or both of the colors that are on the card and use those as your palette. You can sit with the definition of intention that Tasha Silver has created here and see how that relates to your life, and think about what kind of intentions you want to bring forward and manifest into the future. So you can take this as a starting point to help give you some direction. If that's not really your cup of tea and you want to journal around a quote, the Rumi Oracles by Alana Fairchild are also, I mean, just the back of them is gorgeous, right? You can't go wrong with purple, tones of purple and gold. And the cards themselves are also beautiful. And when you look into the booklet about what each one of them means, and again, you can use the images from the cards as inspiration. Those are all beautiful colors. Pink, blue, and yellow are the colors primarily in this one. There's a little bit of purple up here and varying shades of orange. But that can give you inspiration enough. Or you can turn into the book, read what is written, and see how that applies to your life, or what, again, you want to bring into your life. And they're all very, very unique. These are the Starseed Oracle cards from Rebecca Campbell, following up on her light work one, work your light, work your magic. And again, just so beautiful. I used a card from her first deck in one of my smaller journal layouts. It was Leap. It kept coming up for me when I did a card pull. I think I had gotten it like 4 times within just a couple of weeks. So I art journaled my version of the image that was on the card and what it meant to me. And again, it's going to be different for each one of us. What I take out from this is going to be different than what you take, and that's totally okay. You're just using these as a starting point, or as a suggestion, or almost like a guidepost. Love Your Inner Goddess, this deck by Alana Fairchild, is right up my alley. I love her artwork on this. They're so beautiful. I say that a lot, I guess. But you can see here, like, wouldn't she just be fabulous living in your art journal? Again, take a look at the colors. See how there's light and dark, and it gives a really nice balanced look. Look at the faces. Really take in how those features were created. Look at where the highlights are, where are the shadows, and you can use them as inspiration. How fun is this poem or this saying along the side of the card? That's how I like to add words to my art journal. Just stamps or printing them out on a printer, cutting them up and outlining them in black. I do that a lot. And yeah, just see what it is that you need and take what you need. This is a really nice one. It has spiritual guidance and sacred rituals, and oh, love them. Anyways, let's do that. Let's pull one. Again, I have no plan here to on what I want to art journal. I just know that I have a little bit of time. So this might just be a start, and then move on to something more detailed later when I have more time, which, you know, life happens, right? When my kids are home, I don't do this. I don't get to sit and spend a lot of time. Ooh, beautiful. Let's see what this card actually says. Number 27. I'm not even quite sure how to pronounce her. Paeonia? Maybe? Love who you are. That fits in really well with how I art journal. The universe loves to keep on giving to those who are grateful and happy to receive, and who give back to life from the heart with gratitude and a positive attitude. This is such a healing time for you. The healer within is awakening, and your ability to give and receive healing energy is becoming more powerful. Your soul connection to animals, plants, and crystals will support your healing and increase your energy to attract and create positive life situations for yourself and others. So, sacred ritual for this one, if you can, listen to nature sounds, alive and in the moment, or through music. Do that now if you can. Close your eyes and really listen. Your soul can hear fairies speaking within the sounds of nature. They whisper and sing of magic and beauty and grace to enter the world. Feel gratitude in your heart for these beautiful blessings, and imagine them filling your heart and the hearts of all beings. So I'm going to take a peek at this and try to embody some of the colors. I think I will use this quote here, love who you are. All right, it's December 4th. My husband's working from home, and with the COVID numbers we're experiencing here in Alberta, I don't know when he's going to move back to the office. So he's been buying a lot of, excuse my shortness of breath here, things like backdrops for his computer, for his video calls and stuff. So we split the face in half and half and half and half. Is that really halves? I don't know. And I'm not overly particular about it, right? We're just creating in our art journal, so it's not perfect. Oh, and noses still give me a lot of issue. I'm not good at them, despite practice. Can only get better, right? They often have a little circles. Lips. Oh, her lips look much closer together. Nose. She's got a nice little pointy thing. how you sketch doesn't necessarily mean this is what it's going to end up looking like exactly, but kind of. Most of the lessons I've had about how to draw a face have come from Tamara Laporte. And her instructions have really been invaluable to me. I never thought that I could just, whip up a face like this and have it be recognizable as a human face. Never occurred to me. I didn't think I had that ability, and one of the things I talk to my kids a lot about is that perseverance, or that stick-to-itiveness. And when you find something that you enjoy doing and you stick with it and you really practice, that's she looks kind of creepy. She doesn't have hair, but it's not a bad place to start, right? Pretty real. So we'll put in some eyebrows. Just kind of whatever. My girl looks a little bit sad. I think her eyes look maybe, I don't know, dopey like that. And then I do this. And I erase that. Even just having that little bit of hair kind of gives her the effect of looking more like a human. Even just with that, hey? So this is just a quick sketch to bring some life into a blank page. You can feel with all of this, I feel like this just needs definition. So what do we have here? Can't lift her up. She's got some butterfly wings here. Both sides. So let's see. Again, we're not going for perfect. We're just kind of going for an idea that represents butterfly wings. She has a beautiful little collar here. We could do this with collage if we wanted. The quote is here. We'll have to after. That's who you are. And then her hair, she's just got lots of beautiful flowers. She's surrounded by nature. This morning, walking my daughter to the bus, I could hear oodles of birds, lots of bird song, and they sounded just beautiful. All the snow is starting to melt, which is most unusual for our climate. But I'll take it. The birds were happy, so happy. All right, so one of the things that always used to drive me bonkers when I was first starting to art journal, I would watch these videos that were, of course, edited, and I just wanted to do everything at once. So please know that this layout has been sitting here on my art table for a week and a half. So I'm not doing this all in one sitting, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, sometimes you have to let your mediums dry before you move forward, and my bum gets sore sitting in one spot for too long, and I just find that I have other responsibilities that take precedent over my self-care art journal play that actually have to get done. Like, I know that my art journal will be here for me whenever I can make the time to come back to it. So that's just something I wanted to let you know that I experienced and that you may also experience. You get to watch a video that's been edited and possibly time-lapsed, and that between these steps there is actually a lot of time. So find that patience inside of you and just, again, allow it just to be. We're not, it's not a race, it's not a competition. Comparison is the thief of joy. That is one of my most favorite sayings, especially when it comes to art journaling. I find because art journaling specifically is so incredibly individual, you're going to take what you need out of it, and I'm going to take something different. Whatever I need, I will get out of it. So there's no comparison. Please don't look at something that I do and say, oh, that's terrible, she shouldn't be doing this. Or look at your own work and think, oh, I'm awful, I can't, and I shouldn't do this again. Part of this is learning just to accept what you create and finding the calm in the creativeness and the acceptance of what you are able to do. I know in one of the reviews I showed you my first art journal, and I do say, like, I kind of cringe a little bit when I see those early works, because I didn't have the skill to be able to even draw a face even remotely, and I definitely didn't have the confidence. This is 2 years of dedicated practice, and I still struggle with lips and noses and creating balance or symmetry in a face can be challenging. So keep practicing and stay in the moment and appreciate what you are able to learn about yourself through this creative process. Okay, so that done. It's a new day for me. Coming back to my lady here, my Paeonia, my queen of the peonies. And I had left yesterday with having this really not distinguished flourish, which is my favorite stencil at the moment. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to outline them, possibly. These are some images that I have done with previous projects that I paint a page and then I stamp it, and I do this when I am not feeling well or don't have a lot of energy, but I still want to do something creative. So I just come in and do a few little things. This one doesn't have any stamping on it, but it was leftover paint, or could have been what are those things called? Jelly plate print. So I've got all sorts in here, so those ones don't look very good. This will probably be for collage, but I don't mind this one. It's got some metallics in here and some really pretty colors. Maybe a blue. Maybe that one. Maybe those. Maybe that. Maybe. So these butterflies in this bee are from Tracy Scott, her stamp sets, and I love this bee. It is one of my most favorite and most often used stamp. I just find I love bees. I know that without bees we would not be alive. Our food would not be pollinated and we would all starve. And there is a bit of a bee crisis still out there in the world, so we need bees. Bees are our friends, and I respect them. And I had a really a friend that I met through Above Average Wellness, and she is an urban beekeeper, and she was posting all summer about just little facts about bees, and I found it just completely fascinating, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to hear her speak so passionately about bees, and to see that it is possible to participate in keeping bees alive and strong and their population growing, even in a city. So, good job, my friend, and thank you for doing what you do. So now I'm just fussy cutting the flowers out, some of them. So if you wanted to do this, you could paint them on directly like I did with this flower. Maybe I should do that because I'm just using my leftover stash right now of things that I've made over the last 2 years. That's not really fair to you. I'm not showing you how to make those things, but maybe I should. She just looks cute, even with the flower, with the bumblebee right there, hey? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, what the hey. I think I'll keep the bee. And stencil in flowers. I do have a stencil of flowers, but I cannot find it. Here it is. Okie dokie. Because we're going to go over the green, I'm going to put a bit of gesso down first and then go back and I found my palette. Couldn't find it yesterday. So just going to dab the gesso, kind of line this up somewhat, and then just go in and gesso over some of the green. And this will just act as a primer for the paint so that when we put color on top of it, if we decide to put color on top, it will show the color through a lot better than just over the green. That one kind of fits. Okay. And we have to let that dry, clean off the gesso. off the brush. You can also use makeup sponges for this. When you're stenciling, just dab it over with a makeup brush. That is okay. You can see that I was a bit messy with my gesso in here. Totally not worried about that. I do want to put this guy in there. I'm going to add some white highlights to the bumblebee, just to kind of give it a little bit of shimmer, maybe is the right word. A little bit of highlighting with my Uniball Signo. Nothing super perfect, just a few little white spots. While I'm waiting for the gesso to dry, I'm going to just adhere my bumblebee with an old scrapbooking tool. These handy dandy little foam squares. So I'll just use 2 of them. And they stick really nice, and they give some 3-dimensional interest into your work. Where should I put you? Kind of maybe right there. I want to try to stay away from putting this piece down on the seam of the book. I've done that previously, and it just folds over and gets kind of wrecked. So when you're adding cutouts or die cuts to your work, yeah, try not to do that. Try not to stick them over the seam if they're going to be used in a 3-dimensional way. So kind of just coming in and doodling a bit around on her eyes here, giving her a bit more highlight, hoping I don't mess things up, as I can often do. And this is almost dry enough to put down a color. Let's see. I will do the yellow, the middle in cadmium yellow medium. And with this one, I'm not going to be super particular. I'm going to use my finger, dot that in, dot that in, smudging it about a bit. Wow, that didn't even sound like English. Smudging it about a bit. I'm actually kind of digging the flowers just white. It's subtle. It's not too much on me right now. But I do feel like the flourish is still too much pushed into the background. So I'm going to come in with my larger Pitt pens. They're a big brush, and I'm just going to color in what I just spent so much time outlining, just to give it that little bit extra bit of standout, because I do want the flourish to be quite visible in this tone-on-tone side. And you could do this with anything. It doesn't have to be a Pitt pen. It just has to be a marker. You could probably even do a Crayola marker. Again, be mindful that until they're dry, they will smudge. So just rotate the paper or journal page that you're working on so it doesn't smear onto your hand. I am guilty of doing that far too often, and then I set my hand down. I do use it as a hand rest, and can get kind of yucky. You know, there's no mistakes, but carelessness can cause things to happen that you really don't want in your art journal. And that's okay in the beginning when you don't really know how some of the products you're using work. I know I made truly lots of mistakes, and when I was first learning, because I just didn't know how to use the paint or the medium that I was using. I'm still not an expert. I still make mistakes, and I've gotten a lot better at just being like, okay, mental note, use that at the very, very, very end. Otherwise, you're just left with kind of a mess. And while I encourage you to be intuitive and free-flowing, nobody likes a mess, right? So I like that better already, just having the tone on tone, the white flowers, yellow center, and then some of that flourish still coming through. So that's good. Once this is all dry, I will come in probably with a Posca pen. This one here, it's a 5 millimeter one. I might use the 3 millimeter one, and they just have a different size nib, depending on how fine of a line you want to make. But again, Poscas come at the very, very end on this background. I did want to bring in some words, and I'm contemplating how best to do that. I have the love who you are here. I have the note underneath her garment, and what else? Where's the book? I've got the nature, prosperity, abundance and creativity, joy, grace, gratitude. So, again, messy writing. I'm going to just write on top of the flower petals, white on white, and I'm going to be pulling the words right out of the guidebook for Love Your Inner Goddess Oracle cards. So, again, watch your hand here because the yellow paint is definitely still wet. All the pit pen is dry. So, here we go. Abundance. Prosperity. Creativity. Grace. Gratitude. Healing. Nature. And the opposite leaf, I'm going to write nurture. Happiness. purpose, joy, love. It's cool for right now. Okay, buddy. I'll pause this and then. And then just kind of do some finishing doodles, whatever you feel called to do. I'm just going to come in and using this to highlight my heart a bit more. Just love. Just going to write love over and over again.
I can't tell if the cats are trying to kill each other or
Oh, I don't know, maybe. So again, it's very subtle. You can see that I did mess up some of my flower centers there. But there are the words coming up on the flower petals, highlights on the bee, and on the wings, and just love written repeatedly on the heart on her garment. Posca, just give these more of a definitive outline. Again, white on white is just very subtle, but it just helps redefine any little messes that happened through the stencil, or just being a little bit too carefree in the creation of this. And my son distracted me when he came down just now from online school, and that's okay. This is just something from my heart to your heart, and I hope if you don't have a set of oracle cards that you do pick a set up. You know, Trista over at Above Average Wellness would be more than happy to hook you up with a set just for you. This all does need to dry, and then I think she's kind of done. I might come in and do some more doodles, but maybe not. I think she's good. So this is my Queen Paeonia card I chose from the Love Your Inner Goddess deck of oracle cards. Here she is. So you can kind of see she was my inspiration, and I pulled, wait, camera's not straight. I pulled from the imagery from here, from the card, and from the write-up in the guidebook. And that's what you can do if you're feeling stuck or you don't know how to start. Just grab something that inspires you. It doesn't have to be oracle cards. It can be a photo from a favorite vacation or a loved one. It can be a crystal. You can see I've got this beautiful rose quartz boulder here. Again, I got this from Above Average Wellness. Trista can get in some absolutely stunningly gorgeous crystals. Rose quartz is good for self-love and self-compassion. And if nothing else, it's pretty, and it's a reminder to bring those qualities back to center in my everyday life. So here we go. Here's my Queen Paeonia. A little magic. Love who you are. Nature, nurture, abundance, prosperity, love, grace, healing, happiness, creativity, joy, purpose, gratitude. May you be healthy. May you be well. May you be creative. I'll see you next time.